person that have been in business for over 15 years. I have 4 kids that are all young adults, and I've been very blessed in raising them. Being an entrepreneur has afforded me opportunities to go and do the things that I needed to do as a mother and a wife without having to be tied down on a 9 to 5 job. With that being said, I am that type of employer. I don't expect my families to miss out on very much of their children's lives. I try to be as welcoming as I possibly can without allowing them to not do their jobs. I guess I don't know what that means. I offer flexibility in a sense, whereas they can be mothers, they can be present, and they can be employees as well. At having 4 kids, I do realize that being a mother and needing to work can be challenging in this day and time where things are super expensive and it does take two to make a household run. So as an employer, I try to be as forgiving as I possibly can without not having what I need, without letting my business go under. That makes, I don't know. How did I become an entrepreneur? I have 4 kids again. My twins were the reason for me actually having to step out and say, hey, this isn't going to work. I got to figure out another way. It started with me just having a side hustle, photography. I did photography while I was in college and in graduate school. I was a wedding photographer. I ended up having my twins, which made it challenging for me to actually try to get them to the photography studio. Yes, my twins are 18 years old. So we wasn't walking around with the best cell phones. We had flip phones back when they were younger. So my picture quality on my cell phone was not as good as the picture quality as the cell phones are today. So I have a Canon 5D Mark II. I have a Sony A7. I have several lenses. I have a whole photography studio. But I purchased all of that stuff over the years. As I grew in my profession, I never expected anything. I'm one of those people that I am much of a giver than I am a receiver. So a lot of the things that I do is mostly giving. I believe in giving back to the community. I believe in giving back to my family. I believe in giving back to the people that I love. I believe in just helping people, period. So I believe that because of God giving me something, He says, to whom much is given, much is required. So over those years, I believe He was giving me a little to see how I would manage the little before He gave me a lot. After I started with photography, I ended up opening up a spa for little girls called Pinkalicious. That was birthed because of my middle child, which is my daughter. She is now about to be 22. She was about 8 years old when I opened it up. Pinkalicious is 14 years old this year. And I wanted to take her to a spa in New York, but her dad said that's a bit much for her birthday. We wanted to have a birthday party. So instead of me taking her to New York to have a birthday party, I opened Pinkalicious. Now, mind you, the naysayers said that it wasn't going to work and this location wasn't a good location and this, that, and the third. And guess what? Lo and behold, Pinkalicious is still standing 14 years later. It was supposed to be a photography studio, but within Pinkalicious, I did photography for the little girls in their birthday parties. So it kind of all coincided with one another. After I opened Pinkalicious, Allstar was birthed. And I really just don't even, that was a gift within itself from God. We had just moved Pinkalicious into a better location. The rent tripled. I gave Pinkalicious 5 years, maybe 7. I didn't give it 10. I didn't give it 10 at all. I just wanted to have a birthday party for my daughter. And lo and behold, everybody loved it. They still love it. And I'm still trying to figure out how to manage it without me being there, because we're in a day and age where it's hard to find employees. So before I shut it down, which is probably on my list of things to do, before I shut it down, I want to give it another shot. People are still calling me and asking me about Pinkalicious and how can they book birthday parties. But because I have so many other things going on in my life right now, I have a business. We'll get to Allstar next, but I have an office in Louisiana and I have an office in Houston. I'm helping my husband with his business, and it's just a lot for me as in being one person. Although I have a team of people working for me, I mean, it's certain things that you give your employees and certain things that you don't. I still find that they are my responsibility. So managing all of that stuff, the stuff that I feel is my responsibility to manage, is very hard. So after we moved to Pinkalicious, I was given the opportunity to open Allstar Community Care. And all of the things that have happened in my life, I truly believe they have been ordered and ordained by God, first and foremost. I don't think that I would have any of it without Him. I think about all of the things and the patterns. I mean, I feel like my life was one of these big old Candyland games or whatever the games are that light up. Like God just ordered my steps. He told me to go and I went. And because I went, things were waiting for me at the end of the road. So it was almost like follow the yellow brick road. But yes, I ended up opening Allstar. The location that I opened Pinkalicious up was another stepping stone for me to open up Allstar. My birthday parties went from being only on weekends to having from 3 to 4 parties a weekend to being fully booked in this new location, which meant I made hella money having birthday parties just in the weekend in regards to the services that I provided at Pinkalicious. However, don't get it twisted. Don't think that it wasn't a lot of work. It was very much so a lot of work. And Pinkalicious is one of those businesses that requires a lot of your time, a lot of your money, and a lot of thought behind what you're doing in regards to managing that type of business. However, I was able to do it, and the opportunity presented itself for me to open up Allstar Community Care, and that was when it was born. My husband was a little hesitant about it because I had just moved all of Pinkalicious to this new location. We had not even opened it up yet when the opportunity presented itself. I was still in the remodeling phase of that new building, and it was a crazy ride. Long story short, I opened up Allstar against his word, against his will, and saying that if I don't do this now, I won't probably get the opportunity to do it again. So I did, and I'm pretty sure he's happy that I did not listen to him at that time. Pinkalicious, the doctors, the lawyers, the community people that was having parties there were sent to me, and they played a vital role in the success of Allstar Community Care opening. So the fact that I moved Allstar Pinkalicious to this new location, my clientele changed, and the opportunities that presented themselves came to me. I didn't have to go looking for them. So I had lots of referral sources just by the people that I was meeting that was coming through my doors. I'm a firm believer in praying for what you want. I pray and I ask God to send the conversations to me. I'm not very good at networking. I'm not very good at going after and asking people to do things for me. Those are some of my shortcomings, and I admit to them. I'm still working on it right now today. I have been very active in trying to put myself out there and doing things that would change the trajectory of how I am used to operating. Not going to networking events, not being in social groups, not doing social things, because I am very much an introvert. Probably don't sound like it, but I am. I'm strictly business. I don't really know how to have a whole lot of fun. I'm not going to do a whole lot of dancing. I'm not going to dance at all. Let's just start there. So when I find myself out in public places, I'm typically the one that's going to be sitting at the table, drinking, having my drink, and minding my business. Lo and behold, I'm very outgoing. When it comes to giving and doing things for other people, you will find that I am the one that is going to be initiating the give. When I think about what I do at Allstar and how all of the things that I've done correlates with one another, that is how I became an entrepreneur. I've become a serial entrepreneur, not by plans, but and not by default. I did not have a plan, and I did not initiate any of these different businesses that I started. In a sense, I mean, when you think about what it is you love to do, I love little girls, I love children, I love people, I love making people smile, I love making people happy. I like being that person that will be that's gonna make your day. For me, yes, it does. That there's a saying that you people want do things for people that they care about, because other people don't do it for them. I believe that. I was a child that grew up that probably didn't get a lot of the things that I do for other people. And me seeing what I do to make other people happy makes me happy. And I get a thrill from making people happy. I will go out of my way to make sure that you are okay. However, there's a but. I have also learned that sometimes you can give too much of yourself, and by not getting anything in return, you eventually burn out. So I'm big on self-care, I'm big on mental health, and I'm big on making sure that I am okay in these days. After COVID, I realized how burned out I was on taking care of other people and doing things for other people. And my cup was very much dry. It was so dry that it had dust in it. I reached my breaking point, and I was ready to just give up because I was just tired, and it just seemed as though people was just taking and taking it, but they were not just taking. I was giving more than what I was supposed to give. And because I was giving more than what I was supposed to give, I was taking from myself as well. So when I think about mental health and how I operate as an employer, mental health is important to me. As a matter of fact, this weekend is one of the weekends that my staff will not be working. It is their mental health break, so they will not be returning to work tomorrow, and they won't be working Monday. So I shut my systems down. I allow my staff to be off for the weekend. They don't call me, and I don't call them. They don't check emails unless it's something that's absolutely important that they respond to, because we do sometimes get things that are going to come through email that need to be addressed. But for the most part, they are not supposed to be working or doing anything that's business related. So, yes, I take that very important, and I make sure that I am not stressing them out up in my office. And they know they are not going to stress me out in here either, because I make work too easy for them to be able to come to work, do what they need to do, go home, and live their life the way that they should.